Okay, the next thing we're going to cover is actions, and more or less creating a simple action. And these simple actions really just to make life a little bit easier for you. So a lot of my actions are just about resizing, doing things a little bit quicker, particularly if it's something I do all the time, resizing images for Facebook, Instagram, my website, and so on. They're all the same size, always the same, and it's so much easier if I can just hit play. The action makes all the relevant cropping and sharpening and so on. It can even add borders, add text for you, and yeah, it just makes life easy. So what we're going to do is create just a couple of simple actions, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to let you see what an action will do. So if I go into let's see, one of these resizing actions. So I've got a whole bunch in here. Just I was using a particular size image for a blog page I was putting. So I've got a couple of actions: blog page vertical, blog page horizontal, and this will give me an image that ends up being 400 pixels on the longest edge. So if I drop this down, you can see the various things that are happening. It's going to flatten the image, it's going to change the size, do some sharpening, change the sizing again, and then convert a profile for me. So when I want to use this, I simply just have to hit play, and then an automatic process happens, and my full size image is now 400 pixels. If we go in and have a look at the image size, you can see again 400 by 267, 72 dpi, because 72 dpi or ppi is best for websites. You don't need anything larger. That's what your screen's resolution is. Anything larger or any more resolution, you're just making your image larger. This one at the moment is 312 kilobytes, nearly 313. You could make that even smaller. Okay, it doesn't need to be that big. You want these images to open really quickly on websites and so on. So what I'm going to do is just go back a few steps until I get it to where it was. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create this action. I'm going to go down here, I'm going to put it in. There's nothing in here, so I'm going to put the action in here. So if you just select a folder, or you can make up a new folder. So you just go over there, make a folder, call it sample actions, and hit OK. So now you can see we have a new folder, sample actions. So now we're going to create an action in here, and it's going to be a very simple action, just as a starting point, and we're just going to put an action in that resizes this file. Just say for argument's sake we want to just resize it down to 1000 pixels on the longest edge as a horizontal image, and change the PPI down to 72 pixels per inch, just so we can put it on Facebook. It's a decent size, but it's not overly large, so it's going to open fairly quickly. So first of all, we go into this little box here. If we hover over there, that's a new action, and we can give it a name. So we're going to just call it maybe Facebook, and I'm going to call it horizontal, because if I just put 1000 pixels in, I'm going to end up with 1000 pixels on the long edge. But if I do a vertical image, it's going to be 1000 pixels on the short edge, making it, you know, more or less what would that be, around about 1400 pixels on the long edge. So it's going to change it. So we do, in this particular way of doing it, you do a vertical and a horizontal action. So we've got a name, it's going into sample actions. You can create a function key for this. We can make F1 plus shift, or F1 plus command, and so on, to do this action for us. We give it a color and so on, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to hit record. So now what it's going to do is record everything we do and apply it to the action. So first of all, we don't need all of these layers. We're going to create a flattened image to make it nice and small. And we're going to hit flatten. Okay, so you can see here straight away it's set flatten. So we're going to make it 1000 pixels on the longest edge. So if we go to image size, and we're also going to make it 72 dpi or ppi. I keep saying dpi, it's ppi. and change the resolution first before you change your pixels, okay, and make that 1000, okay, on this edge. Now just make sure if it's not on pixels, it may be on inches, it may be on centimeters, millimeters, so on. Just go in there and change the pixels and hit OK. Okay, so I'll just go to 100%. So that's the actual full size of your image. You may then decide to go in and make sure that if we go into edit in the top menu and then convert to profile, make sure that it's going to change, it's going to be sRGB, which is the profile for web. Let's bring that over and hit OK. And then once that's completed, we can hit stop on our action, close it off, and there it is. So if I go back into my history and bring it back to when we last clone stamped, hit H and just bring it back to fit screen. So go back into our actions and you can see the action we've just created in our folder. Click on that Facebook H, press play, and there you go. So it's very simple. So there is a way, if you have say 50 images through Bridge that we used earlier on in a previous video, you can actually apply this action without even coming into Photoshop to 50 images at the same time, and you can resize everything by just choosing this action within Bridge. So I can show you how to do that in another video, but it's a nice way to be able to do things much quicker. It's automating these simple. It's very easy to just go in and resize and do that all, but if you had 50 images, wouldn't it be nice if you could automate it, walk away for 20 minutes, come back and it's all finished. So that's what actions are great for. You can get really complicated actions. There's lots of companies out there sell actions for various different things, and they are brilliant, but for simple actions, it's very simple to create them for yourself.